Starting off this countdown, we have the voodoo doll. Legend goes that a young girl ended up turning her Barbie doll into a real-life working voodoo doll. So this girl was very upset after being grounded by her stepmom. She was so upset that she decided to get revenge on her stepmom by making a voodoo doll of her. So she started by taking some of her mom's hair from her hairbrush. She then attached that hair to her doll. She also cut out a picture of her mom and glued it onto Barbie's face. She then started to whip the Barbie against walls, stomp on it, and twist the Barbie's arms. Now, the next day, her mom woke up with a sore back and neck. She also apparently had a bunch of random, unexplained bruises all over her body. So it seemed like this doll worked. But whatever you do, don't try this at home. Moving on to number 9, we have the Spy doll. In 2010, Mattel came out with a technologically advanced Barbie. This was the Barbie Video Girl doll. And it's exactly what it sounds like. This doll had a camera disguised in Barbie's necklace, and kids could use her to secretly videotape others. I use air quotes because the camera isn't that disguised. You can tell it's there. It's obvious. Then on Barbie's back, there was a built-in monitor where kids could review their footage. But that's not the creepiest part. Legend goes that Mattel was using this doll to spy on kids and collect information on them. This doll allowed Mattel to find out children's likes and dislikes and create more toys and Barbies based on them. If that isn't bad enough, on the Barbie box for this toy, it says, "Barbie is always watching and listening." This may be true. Seriously, that's a really creepy slogan. Moving on to number 8, we have the Barbie killer. This legend surrounds a woman named Sam. When she was younger, she fell down the stairs and suffered from long-term memory loss, meaning she couldn't remember most of her childhood in detail. When she was cleaning out her attic, she found a box of her old Barbie dolls. However, the dolls were all destroyed. Some were missing heads, others were missing limbs. When she asked her mom what had happened to her dolls, her mom told her that before her accident, she loved all her dolls and took the best care of them. After her accident, she became more violent. She would have her dolls fight each other and she would set them on fire and stomp on them. What's creepy is that there was one doll that remained in perfect condition. That doll was named Samantha, who apparently Sam would talk to. And the doll was the one who told her to do the violent things to the other dolls. In our 7th spot, we have the human doll. This next legend is quite a disturbing one. So this legend surrounds a young man who took a job working as a pool cleaner for a rich man and his daughter. Well, during one of his days working and cleaning the pool, he needed to get a special pool chemical from the dude's basement. Well, he ended up breaking into the man's cellar looking for this chemical. But what he found down there was terrifying. His whole basement was turned into like a mini Barbie house. There was a living room and several bathrooms. But that's not all he found. He discovered a life-sized Barbie doll that was alive. Turns out the man wanted to do anything for his little angel daughter. So he killed his wife and turned his other daughter into a real-life Barbie doll. He pumped her skin full of collagen and made her skin look plastic. He then forced her to live down there and play with his daughter whenever she wishes. Thankfully, he escaped before he was turned into a real-life Ken doll. Making our way down the list at number 6, we have the Listener. In 2015, Mattel released another very questionable Barbie doll. This one was called the Hello Barbie doll. This doll not only listens to your children's conversations, but she can also talk back. No thanks. I don't need Barbie talking to me. So basically, a child can ask Barbie questions or talk to her, and Barbie would respond back with 1 out of 8,000 program responses. So it was kind of like Siri, but Barbie. Legend goes that hackers were hijacking the dolls to spy on kids or even to steal personal information. When using this doll, all the data it collects is then sent back to Mattel. It was also theorized that Mattel was then selling this information off to others. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with the haunted doll. Thanks to this urban legend, you can add dolls to the list of things to never buy at a thrift store. So legend goes that a girl bought a Barbie doll from the thrift store for her little sister. But as soon as they brought the doll home, weird things started to happen. Doors would slam shut, they would hear scratching and knocking on the walls at night, and when they would wake up, the doll would be knocked off the shelf, but sitting on the floor upright. The paranormal activity surrounding the doll got so bad that they ended up donating her back to the thrift store. And all paranormal activity ceased. In our 4th spot, we have the Barbie doll forest. Picture this. It's a bright, beautiful sunny day. There isn't a single cloud in the sky. And you're out hiking along a beautiful nature-filled trail. Sounds nice and relaxing, right? Well, that's exactly how this man's day went until he stumbled upon the Barbie doll forest. Basically, in his small town, he discovered a forest where dirty old Barbie dolls' heads were hung by fishing wire from trees. On the ground below, there were arms and legs and bodies, all separated and scattered everywhere. Now, he doesn't know why someone did this, but when he was there, he thought he heard little girls laughing, and he felt like he was being watched. So, is this just part of a prank, or is it part of something more sinister? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. In our third spot, we have the possessed doll. This next urban legend surrounds a group of friends that were fooling around with a Ouija board in their storage room in their basement. While playing, the board spelt out the word doll. When it did, a Barbie doll fell off one of their shelves. The players grabbed the doll and put it near the Ouija board. The board then said thank you, and then went to goodbye. Days later, scary things would happen around the house. The Barbie doll would sometimes move on her own, or they would hear whispers from the room where the doll was. They believed that they summoned a demon and that they needed a host, so they manifested themselves in that Barbie doll. Coming in at number 2, we have the black-eyed doll. This legend surrounds a girl that bought a Barbie doll with all black eyes. Her parents took her to the store to pick out one doll for her upcoming birthday. Out of all the dolls there was to choose from, she chose one that had all black eyes. Now, parents don't know why this doll was on the shelves. All the other dolls had normal eyes, so they thought it was just a manufacturing mistake. No matter how much they tried to get their daughter to pick a different doll, she refused. She, for some reason, wanted this specific creepy one. So they got it and brought it back home. Hope they at least got a discount for the black eyes. However, strange things would happen. Her daughter became very attached to this doll. She would have a fit if she had to go anywhere without her doll. They were by each other's side daily. Her parents even caught her talking to the doll. But soon, the girl got unexplainably sick, and they blamed the doll. To this day, they believe that this doll was possessed by some sort of demon that had latched onto the girl and was feeding off of her soul. In our number 1 spot, we have the Poulet-Uben Barbie. Legend has it that in 1914, during World War I, the British captured a German couple in Singapore because they suspected they were spies. Their daughter managed to escape but passed away after falling off of a nearby cliff. As a result, a shrine was made to honor her memory. Now, in 2007, a local man started having reoccurring dreams where this girl would ask him to buy her a Barbie doll. After having this same dream for 3 nights in a row, he went to the store and bought the same Barbie doll the girl wanted and placed it at her shrine. The doll remains there to this day, and people believe it holds some sort of good luck or magical properties. Starting off this countdown, we have the Dark Origin. Legend goes that the maker of Barbie started making the dolls after her daughter, Barbara, tragically passed away. She started making these dolls to fill the empty void that she was feeling. Barbara loved playing with paper dolls that she would make herself. So in order to keep her memory alive, she started making Barbies. Now it serves as kinda a distraction for her. But this is just a legend. The maker of Barbie did have a daughter named Barbara that loved playing with paper dolls, but she never passed away at a young age. Moving on at number 9, we have Killer Barbie. I think one of everyone's worst nightmares is having their toys come to life. I mean, Toy Story is a good movie and all, but it would be terrifying to wake up to your toys talking and moving about. Well, this next urban legend claims that Barbies come alive at night. But she's not a friendly doll. No, she will actually kill you while you're sleeping, and then she takes on the identity of the person that she's killed. So if she kills a pilot, then she will become a pilot. This can be used to explain why Barbie has so many dang occupations. It's a bit scary. That means Barbie has killed countless individuals because she's got so many jobs, like Dr. Barbie, Teacher Barbie. She's just cold-blooded killer. Coming in at number 8, we have the real-life doll. This legend was posted on Reddit by the user Jax Waiter. When he was 10, his mom ran a daycare out of their house. But something was off about this one girl that they babysat. She would always talk about how her brothers could make her dolls walk off her dresser at night. Well, legend goes that her brother and his friends would go down to the graveyard at night and perform a bunch of satanic rituals, some including cutting themselves as a sacrifice. One day, the girl stole his sister's doll and the boys performed a ritual on it. That night, his sister woke up screaming, saying that her Barbie was alive. Now, apparently they grew up in a strict religious environment where lying was met with a beating. But his sister was adamant that her doll turned her head and looked right at her. She hid under the covers until her parents came into the room, and when she looked from under them, the doll was gone. That's really creepy. People need to not mess around with the paranormal like that. In our 7th spot, we have dissociative identity disorder Barbie. Legend goes that Barbie suffers from dissociative identity disorder. This explains her multiple looks, jobs, styles, and personalities. So Barbie is said to have hundreds of different jobs. Now, this would require an insane amount of schooling, and since Barbie is young, that would be impossible. So people think that Barbie has a bunch of personalities, and for each personality, she has a different occupation. She also has specific styles for each of her personalities. That's why Barbie is seen in many different forms. It also explains why Barbie is constantly changing her hair and style. She's also been seen as a goddess, a fairy, a mermaid, and other mythical creatures. This is because Barbie is losing her connection to reality, and her case is worsening. So Barbie has multiple personalities, each fighting with each other to be the most dominant one. In our 6th spot, we have the cursed Barbie. Over the years, Mattel has come out with some pretty interesting Barbies, like pregnant Barbie that literally had a baby you could rip out of her stomach, or the growing up Skipper doll where you could make the doll mature, if you get what I'm saying. Well, they also came up with a Barbie based off of Alfred Hitchcock's movie The Birds. I think this doll was considered a collector's item, because this doll has Barbie being attacked by 3 crows. Definitely not the most child-friendly design, and I couldn't see that being appealing to kids. Now, legend goes that this doll is cursed. They believe that whoever owns this doll will have strange things happen to them. Some even think that this doll will cause bad luck to whoever owns it. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the haunted doll. This legend was brought to my attention by Reddit user RoxersBoxers17. When she was younger, she would often have sleepovers at her aunt's house. In the room that she would sleep in, there was always a box full of Barbies next to the nightstand. In the box was a Ken doll that would actually talk if you pressed a button at the back of his neck. The doll would say things like, "Rapunzel, let down your hair." I feel like you kind of get where I'm going with this story. So one night she was sleeping when all of a sudden the Ken doll started talking. She thought that maybe another doll was pressing on the button, but when she looked, that doll was at the top of the pile of dolls, making this not a possibility. So I hope you burn that doll or something. Coming in at number 4, we have the possession. So Annabelle is said to be a true story about a doll that is being possessed by a spirit of a girl that passed away. Well, guess what? There's another doll in town that is giving Annabelle a run for her money, and that's Barbie. Legend goes that there was once a Barbie doll that got possessed by its owner when she passed away. The girl was then living inside of the doll. I mean, it's not like she could just walk around and talk freely, but on occasion her mom would hear her daughter's laughter coming from the room where the Barbie was in. Doors would also open and close on their own. So the mother was convinced that her daughter was possessing this doll. As a result, the mother looks after the doll. She bathes it frequently, brushes her hair, picks out her outfits daily, and tucks her in at night. Well, it's kind of sweet in like a really scary, creepy way. In our 3rd spot, we have the look-alike Barbie. Did you know that you can have a customized Barbie made to look just like you? Yeah, well, it's true, according to this next legend. So in reality, we don't know how true it actually is. So legend goes that if you send Mattel a photo of someone, then they will make a doll that looks just like them, complete with an identical full outfit of the one you wore in the photo. Now, here's the only catch. Mattel will only make the doll of those who are deceased. Yeah, that's right. They do this as a way to keep the memory of the individual alive. Now, how will you know that the photo you send them is of a person that is dead? Well, you have to actually attach a photo of their obituary as proof, and that's the only way you'll be able to get a cool customized doll, if you're dead. Coming in at number 2, we have the Harry doll. This was a popular urban legend back in the day when I was a kid. So apparently at one point in time, Mattel was selling Barbies that had real human hair. They did this so that the kids could style the hair with heat without having the hair melt. These dolls were a huge hit. but got pulled from shelves immediately after it was discovered that the hair they were using was off of dead bodies. So kids were playing with dolls containing hair from the newly deceased. And in our number 1 spot we have the coffin Barbie. Legend goes that there was once an individual that was obsessed with Barbies. She had tons of them in her collection. She even dyed her hair blonde, wore blue contacts, and dressed in all pink to look just like her hero. Some were convinced that she was getting so obsessed with Barbie that she was actually turning into one. A rumor was going around saying that her skin was beginning to turn into plastic. Well, sadly, this woman passed away in her 30s from strange complications. It happened very suddenly when she was a perfectly healthy individual. Now, her family had her body quickly buried, but police had their suspicions and thought that she was a victim of foul play. As a result, they had her body dug up to perform a more thorough autopsy. But when they opened up her coffin, her body was gone. In the center of the coffin lay a Barbie in her place. So like, did she turn into a Barbie or what? Starting off, we have con artist Barbie. Has anyone seen the movie Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio? It's a great movie, you should go watch it. Basically, this movie is a true story about Frank Abagnale, a well-known con artist and forger. Frank managed to convince people that he was a pilot, doctor, and teaching assistant. Sound familiar? Anyone else we know that has multiple jobs? Like Barbie? I mean, this would explain her continuous cash flow that allows her to afford multiple luxurious outfits. It also explains the endless years of her body and face being reshaped and to why her hair and eyes keep changing color. So basically, Barbie poses as different people for financial gain. This also explains why she has her PhD and MD without even going to school. At number 9, we have the Ken spell. Aww, Ken and Barbie. Couple goals, as like some people would call them, but are they really? Because this next theory is that Ken is under Barbie's spell. Apparently, Barbie has somehow put a curse on Ken, which forces him to be with her forever. People state that Barbie and Ken started off as friends. Then at some point, Barbie had a breakdown from all the pressure of being a public figure. At that time, Ken was showing a lot of support for Barbie and she liked the attention. When she got mentally stronger, Ken stopped caring as much. But Barbie loved all the attention, so she cast a spell on him. She now will always have control over him. She can make him pay more or less attention to her and control his behaviors and how he acts. Yeah, sounds like an unhealthy relationship to me. Moving on to number 8, we have Barbie Video Girl Doll. Now, in 2010, Mattel came out with a Barbie doll that sparked a lot of controversy. This doll was the Barbie Video Girl Doll, and it is exactly what it sounds like. Basically, this doll has a camera disguised in Barbie's necklace, but it honestly just looks like she has like a giant hole in her skin. It's gross looking. Now, the video camera could record whatever the kids wanted, and then it could be screened on her back. So, playback on her back. It's pretty creepy, like it was actually a screen built into her back. But that's not the creepiest part. People thought that Mattel was using this doll to spy on their kids and collect information on them. Now, the marketing on this doll is so scary. On the box, it literally says, Barbie is always watching and listening. Whoa, whoa, settle down there, Santa Claus. Like, always watching and listening? Yeah, Mattel was spying on us and collecting information from this doll. At number 7, we have the Hello Barbie doll. Now, this Barbie does not only listen to your children's conversations, but she can talk back. Basically, a child can ask Barbie questions or talk to her, and Barbie would respond back with 1 out of 8,000 programmed responses. So, like Siri, but as Barbie. Now, when the child talks to Barbie, it is said that she would collect all this data and send it back to Mattel. So again, people were scared that Barbie would literally be spying on them and their child. They feared that they were constantly being recorded and that their private information was being sold to others. Now, Barbie says creepy things like, "Did you miss me at all? Not even a itsy bitsy eensy weensy bit? Like, that's terrifying. No thank you, no I did not miss you." Now, the purpose of this doll was to help kids with social interactions. But I don't really understand. How is a kid going to know how to understand and interpret facial expressions and body language cues from a doll? Coming in at number 6, we have Vlogger Barbie. Has anyone else seen Barbie's YouTube channel? It's literally an animated version of Barbie and her sisters doing YouTuber challenges or making vlogs. It's quite eerie because it's trying to make Barbie seem realistic or like she's a real relatable person. Or is she? This theory believes that vlogger Barbie and her sisters are in fact real. These individuals, although not related in real life, were once humans. These humans wanted YouTube fame and fortune so badly that they would do anything. When they saw an ad to become a YouTube star, they jumped at the chance, not knowing that they were literally going to be turned into cartoons and be stuck in the internet forever. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with Cursed Barbie. Now, this Barbie was based off of the 1963 Alfred Hitchcock movie The Birds. In this movie, birds begin to attack citizens of the town. Now, for some reason, a Barbie was made inspired by this movie. It's not a child-friendly movie at all. This Barbie is shown with 3 crows attacking her. Who on earth would buy this doll? It's definitely not the most child-friendly design, and I couldn't see it being appealing to kids. Seems more like a collector piece. Now, people believe that this doll is cursed. They believe that whoever owns the doll will have strange things happen to them. Some even think that this doll will cause bad luck to whoever owns it. In this movie, the crows attacked anyone that went outside their home. Therefore, they believe that bad luck will happen if you leave your house or leave the Barbie alone. Coming in at number 4, we have Clone Barbie. Now, maybe the reason why there are so many different versions of Barbies are because they are actually clones of herself. Now, this theory surrounds the idea that Barbie is a scientist that has managed to make clones of herself. Other people theorize that it was Ken who cloned Barbie since she barely had enough time for him. That's just creepy. Like, imagine having your boyfriend clone you since you didn't spend enough time with him. Yikes. But also, in 2004, Mattel reported that Barbie and Ken broke up. That's when Barbie started dating an Australian hunk named DJ Blaine. So maybe that's when Ken started feeling extra lonely and started to clone Barbie. Who knows? Either way, it's creepy. In our 3rd spot, we have Killer Barbie. So for this one, people have a much darker theory as to why there are so many different versions of Barbie. Basically, people believe that Barbie actually can come to life. That's right, Barbie comes alive at night and kills innocent people. She then takes on the persona of the person that she killed. So if she kills a person that was a pilot, then she will become a pilot. So maybe you should lock your Barbies up at night? I don't know. But that also means that Barbie has managed to successfully kill a mermaid and even Medusa, since there are dolls where Barbie are those characters. So, how powerful is Barbie? We don't really know. Coming in at number 2, we have the fact that Barbie is a child abductor. That's right. So Barbie is known to have lots of sisters and family members. However, there have been times where her family members would disappear as if they never existed. This is the case for Tutti. Now, Tutti was Barbie's sister. When Barbie was first made, she was always advertised with her sister Tutti. Then, all of a sudden she disappeared, and her sister Skipper appeared. People theorize that Barbie kidnaps children and keeps them in her dream house. They are not allowed to leave the home, they have to stay in there for the rest of their lives. She then brainwashes her victims so that they are convinced that they are truly related to Barbie. Now, if they try to escape or if they get too old, then she kills them and moves on to her next victim. And in our number 1 spot, we have dissociative identity disorder Barbie. People have a theory that Barbie suffers from dissociative identity disorder. This explains her multiple looks, jobs, styles, and personalities. So Barbie is said to have hundreds of different jobs. Now, this would require an insane amount of schooling. And since Barbie is young, that would be impossible. So people think that Barbie has a bunch of personalities, and for each personality, she has a different occupation. She also has specific styles for each of her personalities. That's why Barbie is seen in many different forms. It also explains why Barbie is constantly changing her hair and style. She has also been seen as a goddess, a fairy, a mermaid, and other mythical creatures. People believe that this is when Barbie is losing her connection to her reality and her case is worsening. Barbie has no distinctive look. Sure, we always associate her with having blonde hair, but there's not a main profession that people associate with her. It's always multiple. And that's because Barbie suffers from having multiple personalities, each fighting with each other to be the most dominant one.